This is Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue 9. This is the Night of Owls tie-in. So there are some highlights I'm going to be covering, such as anti-hero, resurrection, and freedom. And this all relates to Jason Todd as Red Hood. So we're going to begin with Red Hood, who returns to Gotham because of the fact that Alfred sent out a signal to all the Bat family members, even to Red Hood, to come to Gotham to save the Gotham public figures from the Talons from the Court of the Owls, who have sent out assassins to eliminate those figures. So Red Hood's public figure that he has to save is Victor Fries, who is Mr. Freeze. He has to save them from the Court of Owls. Basically, Mr. Freeze had dealings with the Court of Owls in which he worked for them, and he received money from it to save his love, as usual. The Want story, how he's still in love with his wife, and she's frozen because of a disease. So Corey, Roy, and Red Hood have to pretty much save his butt because he's turned Chinatown into an ice castle, ice place or something. And basically, Red Hood has to save Chinatown as well as Mr. Freeze from the Court of Owls. So when Jason Todd comes to Gotham City, he's really just taking in Gotham City. He's really saying to himself, like, I'm just here to do a mission and get out. He's considers himself still part of the Bat family. And, Corey and Roy kind of ask him, like, why are we even here? You should just let Batman handle it. And he's like, no, I'm here for a reason, for a mission. And it shows how much, respect he still has for Batman, even though, the incident that happened with him with his death. So, Red Hood jumps, he free falls down through Gotham, and it's symbolic because, and I love it, because his voiceover kind of tells you what he's feeling, like he's taking Gotham City in, he's trying to remember what he used to love about the city, and basically how much he not really misses the city, but what he remembers of it as Robin. And now that he's Red Hood, he's kind of experiencing a little bit more differently. It's more of a duty for him than just saving Gotham. He's pretty much a stranger in Gotham City, basically. So he goes and he finds Mr. Freeze fighting a Talon. This Talon he has to assassinate him, but as Red Hood intervenes, he kind of intervenes in all the fighting. Mr. Freeze kind of tells him, I don't need you, get out. And Red Hood tells him, like, don't take me as a good guy, because I'm not a good guy. He puts a gun to his head and tells him, like, I'll shoot you. And this kind of talks about how he is now an anti-hero, where he only does good to benefit himself. He doesn't do good just to help people. He only does it for himself. And I love that about him. If anything, I'd like to say that Jason Todd is one of my favorite Robins. I guess I'll talk about that much later. So the Talon escapes from the whole scene, and Mr. Freeze is left, and Corey and Roy kind of get involved and stop Mr. Freeze from freezing all of Chinatown, and that's a whole big mission. Now I'm only going to focus on Red Hood here, because I like him and I love him. So he fights the Talon a little bit. It's not too much fighting. The Talon, Red Hood didn't really listen to the message that Alfred sent out, explaining that they have regenerative powers and they can't die. Plus, they're very strong. So when the Talon strikes Red Hood in the helmet, he realized, oh my God, this guy's really strong. So Roy and Corey kind of intervene, help him out a little bit, and then they go off to fight Mr. Freeze, because Jason Todd, he's the man. He's going to go and do his own thing and try to attack the Talon. The Talon kind of runs away and brings him to where the Haley Circus site used to be. And, Red Hood's very investigative. He's also very intuitive to people, and that's just his personality. That's just the way he is, and that's how Scott Lobdell, the writer, has made him to be. And he realizes that the Talon is very acrobatic. He notices the Haley Circus billboard, and he notices that the tent where the Talon kind of not guides him, but accidentally guides him to. And he kind of tells him, like, why did you bring me here? And the Talon's like in denial, like, I didn't bring you here to do this. Like, really? And Jason Todd's like, really? You're really gonna do that to me? You're really gonna deny that? Okay, whatever. So the Talon kind of tells him, like, look, they used the Court of the Owls, they used me, they abused me, and it's a real womp story, but it relates to Jason Todd because Jason Todd was a Robin, and he wasn't used by Batman, but he was a Robin, and Robin basically is a sidekick, and he kind of feels as Jason Todd kind of feels not rejected, but like Batman doesn't really, not to say he doesn't care, but he feels like rejected, because he resurrected, and the Talon was also resurrected, and they both agree that you know that being resurrected is very scary for them both because they're not the same people as they were before, and they kind of miss that part about them. So they both take off their masks and show themselves to each other. And the Talon, tells them like, I want to be rid of all this, all of this, killing and so on and forth. And and Jason Todd tells them, you and I are very much alike. They have a heart to heart, and the Talon's name, he tells Redhood this, his name is Zhao Long, which is a reference to Bruce Lee, one of Bruce Lee's movies, and he tells him like, you can kill me. Basically, he's on his knees and he's telling Redhood like, kill me now. So he wants, the thing is that they both want freedom. Redhood got his freedom by becoming Redhood and becoming part of the Outlaws, which is not really a group thing, but he's part of it, and he's away from Batman, but he still respects the bat symbol that he has on his chest. Whereas Zion Long says to himself like he wants to have his own choice, his own freedom to kill himself, in which the Talon, whenever they feel like they want to retire you, they're gonna pretty much freeze you. And for Zion Long, he doesn't feel that way. He wants to be free of the Court of Owls, free of the madness, free of fighting, and Jason Todd puts a gun to his head and pretty much kills him off. And then Redhood puts Mr. Freeze on top of Gotham City Police Department, and he talks to Batgirl, and Batgirl, had her own Talon, and she pretty much threatens him, like, if I ever see you again, I'm going to put you in jail, and that verifies the fact that he's going to still be an anti-hero. Even though he does good, he's always going to be anti-hero. He does his own things, and he's insane. He's an insane character. And I do believe that Jason Todd is the darker version of Bruce Wayne / Batman. He'll do things that Bruce would never do. He's a utilitarian, in which that means he'll choose to kill one person to save the whole, not the whole universe, but the whole lot of people. So that's the way he operates, and I love that about him. I respect that more. I respect him as an individual and as a person and as a character. I really do respect him. So overall, the graphics were nice. I kind of got confused with the whole illustration, how the panels kind of operate. I'm kind of going one way where I'm going from left to right, and sometimes I have to go down, up and down, and then go to the right side of the panel. It's very confusing for me, and it's still something I have to get used to. I haven't been keeping up with much of Redhood, but his character and his storyline is still good. I will always have a thing for him, and he's one of my favorite anti-heroes along with Catwoman. So, okay, so what I would give Redhood and the Outlaws, I would give it possibly ballparking for the storyline as well as for everything else. I give it maybe about 9.2. Not, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Redhood and the Outlaws, but I'm a fan of Redhood himself. And the storyline was decent. It relates, and it was a nice tie-in as well. So I want you guys to comment. If anything, comment down below or on DKN Facebook about what you think about Redhood. Do you like him? Did you like him as Robin when he was Jason Todd as Robin? Do you think his character is a little bit out of whack because of Scott Lobel's liberties with his personality and with the whole Redhood Outlaws storyline? Some people don't like it. I'm not too much of a fan of it, but that's okay. What do you think of the Night of Owls tie-in? Did you really like this issue? What do you think about the graphics? Do you think it does justice for the whole issue, the whole series even? So leave your comments down below, and this is Christina, and this is the Comic Review. Thanks.